Inside the dimly lit basement, the young woman named Yang Xiaoya sat bound and gagged. She watched in pure horror as the shadowy killer, Hu Qibin, ate the remains of his latest victim. Surrounded by bones and blood, she whimpered in terror, knowing she was next. The killer, his face a sickening mess of scarred flesh and blood, turned to face her. He spoke with an eerie familiarity, teasingly asking if she was shaking because she missed him. Hu Qibin slowly walked up to the terrified woman. He mocked her, asking what her final words would be before forcefully ripping the cloth from her mouth. Finally able to speak, Xiaoya screamed his name and called him a monster. With tears streaming down her face, she accused him of eating their friend, Wei Wei. Glowing with a dark red aura, Hu Qibin explained that his hidden class, the gluttonous ghoul, cursed him with a never-ending hunger that normal food could not fix. The only way to stop the starving feeling and gain more power at the same time was to eat other players and steal their stats. With an evil smile, he grabbed her ankle. Lifting her upside down, he proudly stated that her body would make the perfect meal, filling his empty stomach while giving him all of her abilities. As he brought his face close to her foot, Xiaoya begged for her life. She pleaded with him to spare her, reminding him of the feelings he once claimed to have for her. Suddenly, Hu Qibin stopped, still holding her up in the air. He bitterly complained that even though he loved her so much, she never cared about him at all. He exploded with anger, shouting that she never gave him a chance because she was always busy looking at that damned King Feng. He dropped her roughly to the floor. Xiaoya fired back, calling him a gross, greasy creep. Trying to defend himself, Hu Qibin argued that a few drinks, dirty jokes, and touching female co-workers at the office did not make him a bad guy. Furious that she still rejected him, he threatened to make her suffer terrible pain. Standing her ground, Xiaoya fired back that she would rather die. Her brave answer pushed him over the edge. Blind with anger that she preferred death over being with him, he screamed in her face and spit out cruel threats. Right as he reached to undo his pants, a door creaked open in the dark. Caught off guard, he called out and demanded to know who was there. Taking advantage of the distraction, Xiaoya screamed for help. Furious at the interruption, Hu Qibin kicked her hard to make her quiet. Standing in the doorway, Ghost Spirit pointed at Hu Qibin and told Shadow that he was the killer, nodding toward the half-eaten body nearby. Ghost Spirit thought about handing the murderer over to the police, but Shadow said there was no need. They should just kill him right then and there. Hearing them whisper, Hu Qibin panicked and demanded that the intruders show themselves. Ghost Spirit moved in a blur, giving him what he asked for. She appeared right in front of him and slashed his chest with a blade made of glowing pink energy. Angry about the sneak attack, Hu Qibin fought back. He gathered his dark red energy into a heavy, crushing punch and aimed it straight at Ghost Spirit. She cried out in pain as the strong hit landed. While Hu Qibin was busy fighting her, Shadow appeared quietly behind him. Noticing the killer's unusually high stats, Shadow realized the monster must have already eaten many people to get this strong. Hu Qibin spun around, his eyes going wide with shock when he saw the famous player standing there. He stumbled over his words, demanding to know how Shadow figured out his real identity. He got no answer. Raising his blade of judgment, Shadow quickly and quietly cut off the killer's head in one smooth swing. The system announced that anyone killed by the blade of judgment could have their soul sent to a special pocket dimension to face trial. Shadow chose to capture Hu Qibin's soul. Glowing ropes shot out from the sword, tightly wrapping around the killer's ghost, and the system confirmed he was caught. As the soul was pulled into the sword's dimension, Shadow thought about how crazy this encounter was. He never expected this gross serial killer to be his old boss. Shadow remembered how Hu Qibin used to be his terrible manager in the real world, a petty bully who always yelled and blamed his team for everything. He even recalled the man threatening him on the phone right after the game world became real. Shadow always assumed a loser like him would have died a long time ago. He figured Hu Qibin must have been incredibly lucky to get the rare gluttonous ghoul class. If Shadow had not stepped in tonight, the monster would have kept killing people and gotten away with it, just like he did in the past timeline. Back in the real world, Ghost Spirit apologized for taking a hit during the fight. Shadow told her not to worry, explaining that the ghoul class leveled up very fast, so the killer's heavy punch was to be expected. He told her he had already gotten rid of the body and asked her to untie Xiaoya. Finally free from the ropes, Xiaoya sat on the cold floor. She was shaking and dazed as she slowly realized the nightmare was over. Ghost Spirit gently helped her stand up and promised her that she was safe now. Xiaoya cried as she thanked them for saving her. Meanwhile, Shadow called the police, gave them the address, and explained that the killer was dead, leaving one body and one survivor behind. The officer on the phone, Anyao, was amazed and praised him for solving the terrible case so fast. Xiaoya turned back to Shadow, thanking him again and again for his help. He brushed off the praise and told Ghost Spirit to wait with Xiaoya until the police showed up, saying he had somewhere else he needed to be. Without saying another word, Shadow disappeared into the night in a flash of dark blue light. As she watched him leave, Xiaoya realized that his simple wave goodbye looked exactly like King Feng's. With a small knowing smile, she whispered one last thank you, calling him by his real name. Turning to Ghost Spirit, Xiaoya softly said that her master seemed like a truly kind person hiding behind a scary mask. Surprised, Ghost Spirit looked at her, amazed that this normal woman could see the warmth hidden inside him. At the same time, Hu Qiban's soul appeared inside the Blade of Judgment's pocket dimension. Confused at first, he soon realized he was still aware of his surroundings. He had not actually died. An evil smile spread across his ghostly face as he promised to eat enough souls in this new place to become strong enough to kill Shadow. Suddenly, a loud and powerful voice echoed from above. Hu Qiban looked up to see Shadow standing tall on a high platform, coldly announcing that the trial was about to begin. A giant stone pillar rose up from the empty space in front of him. Glowing chains shot out from it, tightly wrapping around Hu Qiban's soul and locking him in place. The system immediately started to rip Hu Qiban's memories from his mind. Clear pictures of his terrible past flashed across the stone pillar, showing off all the proof of his many crimes. As Shadow watched the sick memories play out, his eyes suddenly went wide with shock. Right in the middle of all the violence, he spotted something completely unexpected hiding deep inside the killer's past.